Despite the new titles, Rathalos is to this day the main flagship of the Monster Hunter franchise. So when the main character of the Dota 2 Netflix series that can literally transform into a dragon in-game was wearing the Rathalos armor, I knew exactly how good this crossover was going to be. My name is Sun, and I don't think you guys really understand how excited I was when I heard about this crossover. Dota and Monster Hunter are two of my favorite games of all time. Believe me when I say that I have played these games rather extensively, which clearly makes me the only person qualified to cover this crossover. The first thing I want to show you guys is how does the event work in Dota, so that you guys can get your rewards and craft some nice armor sets for your favorite heroes. But after that, I want to show you guys some blind reactions to the different sets, and then complement that with some commentary to explain the context behind these different weapons and armors, so that the Dota fans that don't play Monster Hunter and the Monster Hunter fans that don't play Dota can understand just how much attention to detail they put into this thing. Let's get to it! So the event works as follows. There are 7 possible rewards that you can get with this event. Each of them requires a specific set of materials, and you can craft multiple versions of each armor set. You can track the materials that you need for each armor piece so that the game lets you know when you have enough materials to craft something, and it makes it easier to find the bounties that will give you what you want. The way you get these materials is pretty simple. At the start of each match, the game will give you 3 bounties. These are 3 players from the opposite team, and you can choose one of them as a target for the match. If you manage to kill your target, you'll get a guaranteed reward by the end of the match. For free. Let's go! Quest complete! That's so good! On top of that, if you win the match, you can get a bunch of bonus rewards. So make sure you kill them before they kill you. And you definitely want to avoid losing a match, as that will leave you without the bonus rewards. As you play more and more matches, you'll slowly gain Hunter rank. And when you reach certain milestones, you'll get some bonus rewards as well as materials to craft sets. There's also the Hero Atlas, a sort of encyclopedia that you can complete by playing or killing the different heroes of the game. Once you complete their entry, you can also get some materials. Definitely a good alternative to get more rewards. On top of that, filling the entry will let you in on an exclusive piece of lore for each hero. If you're getting a lot of materials, but just not the ones you want, there's the classic exchange system that allows you to burn some spare materials and convert them into materials of the same or higher rarity of your choice. Lastly, the expedition pack is the paid portion of this event, but it does come with some interesting goodies, like a Poogie effigy pet, Monster Hunter music that you can use in-game, and a lot of materials so that you can get crafting some sets right away. It does seem that the Rathalos transformation is part of the paid content from the expedition pack. It is what it is. I will say this is pretty in line with the way that Monster Hunter works for the most part. When you fight monsters and they kill you, or as we say, you cart, you basically return to base empty-handed. So it's nice to see the parallel between the Dota event and the way that the reward system works in Monster Hunter titles. If you want to get these rewards, you better make sure to come out on top. So yeah, Monster Hunter is pretty simple. You want the fire sword? Go kill the fire dragon. Next, I want to show you some first impressions that I had with these items and sets, together with some commentary behind the weapons, the armor, and the monsters that they come from. In order to have a bit more efficiency in the game, you have the Courier, which is a little guy, in this case the Palico. Look, this looks so good! So, the Palico in this case has the ability to take items for you and carry them to your hero. By the way, for the people that play, that don't play Monster Hunter but play Dota, these Palico armor, all of these sets are in the game. Like, all of these exist. The Palico Couriers make so much sense when you think about what they do in the Monster Hunter universe. So, the Courier is a unit in Dota that can take the items that you buy in the base and bring them to your hero. This allows you to keep fighting and keep getting gold and experience without having to return to the base. That way you can be much more efficient with your time during a match. In Monster Hunter, Palicos are a race of intelligent cat-like creatures that help the hunter on their quests. They can provide all sorts of support, like healing, potting traps, and attacking the monster alongside you. Hunters and Palicos have pretty much formed a symbiotic relationship, since they always work together to get things done in every expedition. Not only that, but they're the ones that come to your rescue if you ever fall in battle. So, a very fitting choice to have the Palico be the couriers in Dota. But yeah, Sniper in general, it's known for being like very annoying. As he levels up, he gains more and more range, and the ult can do this, right? While I think that Sniper's skills are more in line with a heavy bowgun, his size clearly is a better match with a light bowgun. Sniper as a hero is all about that range. He can make it extremely difficult to get close because he can deal so much damage before you even get to him. But, unlike the light bowgun as a weapon, Sniper really struggles with mobility, so highly mobile heroes can usually get the better of him. In contrast, the light bowgun in Monster Hunter is a highly mobile and versatile weapon. It allows you to keep on the offensive while you dance around the monster at a safe distance. And you even have the ability to use paralyzing or sleeping ammo, a special type of ammunition that will impair the monster's movement for a short time. The armor set that Sniper is wearing comes from this monster, Odogaron, an extremely agile fanged wyvern with the ability to cause bleeding with its attacks. You can find his equipment in Monster Hunter Iceborne, where Odogaron first appeared. Now, the cool thing here is that one of the variations of the armor set even has the subspecies color palette. In Monster Hunter, a subspecies is basically a genetic variation of the original monster, and in this case, the color comes from Ebony Odogaron, a dragon element infused version. As you can see, Techies is like a goblin sapper hero. It's just a genius idea to have this hero be the Palico card. So Techies is infamously known for being an extremely annoying hero to deal with, because his whole deal is that he can just fill an entire part of the map with mines. There's so many clips of people making the wrong turn, and suddenly this hero is all about the explosions, to the point that one of their skills is just throwing themselves at the enemy and blowing themselves up. It is some serious commitment to the bit. In Monster Hunter, the Palicos have a very similar ballista card that they can use to help you hunt monsters, and they are also known for throwing explosives when the option presents itself. So the fact that Techies is a group of Palicos is just an extremely fitting idea for this set. The clothes from the Dota set are actually the basic Palico armor in Monster Hunter. This is likely what they'll be rocking when you start the game. Note the attention to detail from the weapon, the goggles, and the water bottle. It looks exactly like the armor in Monster Hunter. So this is pretty clearly, I think, the Kirin set with different color palettes. Ooh, that looks beautiful, man. I think this is going to give a lot of the people that like the fashion in Monster Hunter, it's gonna give them a lot of different ideas for this. Okay, so let's see if there's any like special effects for the animations. Not really. Very standard stuff, I think. But yeah, so very cool set. Looks really good on the Anti-Mage persona as well. Attention, Dota players! The Anti-Mage crafting list allows you to craft the Anti-Mage persona. So, if you didn't have it, now it's a great chance to unlock it. So, as I mentioned, the deal with Anti-Mage is that you're basically a mage killer. You have massive amounts of magic resistance, you can reflect spells back to the attacker, the ability to burn people's mana, and then blow them up for tons of damage the less mana they have. This is why this character wants to be using items that allow you to create illusions, as those will also burn mana with their attacks. Since Anti-Mage is a carry hero, they are usually very weak when the game starts, but if they get to farm gold and experience, they become harder to stop as the game progresses until eventually they get out of control. Let's talk about the armor then. This set comes from the legendary creature classified as an Elder Dragon, the Kirin. The Kirin is a majestic unicorn with the ability to control lightning with its horn. His influence over the weather is so strong that when Kirin steps into an environment, the whole area becomes covered in clouds, thunder and lightning filling the air. The reason why monsters like Kirin have the title of Elder Dragon is because they are so rare and outlandish compared to everything else in the natural world, they simply cannot be classified by the Hunters Guild by using conventional methods. And of course, the weapons that Anti-Mage is carrying are the dual blades. While the model of the Kirin dual blades is different in Dota from the ones in Monster Hunter, they still retain the use of a different color per blade, one being light blue and the other magenta. It is pretty fitting that they gave Anti-Mage this weapon not only for the weapon type, but also because in Monster Hunter, dual blades as a weapon is all about speed and evasion, having the ability to activate the special stance called Demon Mode that allows you to perform stronger attacks and combinations. Because of the fast and low commitment animations of this weapon, it is pretty easy for dual blades users to be extremely aggressive while at the same time having a big enough window to react and dodge the monster's attacks. So yeah, once again, a lot of aura farming for Anti-Mage with this set. Obviously, the main thing about Dragon Knight is the ability to transform into a dragon with the ultimate. Oh my god, it looks so fucking good! fuck? Davion the Dragon Knight. His name is pretty self-explanatory. This hero's ultimate ability is to transform into a dragon, which gives him a bunch of modifiers to his attacks. Back in the day, Dragon Knight has this cool thing where, as your ultimate ability levels up, the dragon that you can transform into grew older and thus stronger. Today, they've changed it to make it so that you can choose the type of dragon you want to transform into, so you can more or less adapt the dragon form to your preferences. You can choose between having attacks that deal area of effect damage, reduce armor and deal damage over time, or having a freezing effect that slows enemies down and reduces their healing. There's also an even more powerful dragon transformation that can only be unlocked if you buy a special item called Aghanim's Scepter, an artifact that allows heroes to improve and sometimes unlock certain abilities. As a hero, Dragon Knight is on the sturdier side of carries, meaning that his damage ceiling is not as high as others, but he makes up for that with better defensive stats, allowing you to be a lot more aggressive in the early to mid game. The Rathalos armor, together with the Rathalos sword and shield, are probably one of the most iconic looks in all of Monster Hunter. It's the classic that never disappoints. Rathalos is such a good monster design that you can see it being used for so many crossovers and collabs with other products. Not so long ago, there was a Monster Hunter X Fender collab, and the Rathalos guitar is just gorgeous. Sword and Shield is considered to be the started weapon in Monster Hunter, but in the later titles, they've expanded its kit to make it an extremely versatile weapon. You can block, slide, dodge, and deal a lot of damage with its powerful special combo, the Perfect Rush. While the low commitment of its attacks allows for an easy time for beginners, people who master this weapon can abuse its technical skill by performing some of the craziest backhop iframe dodges I've seen in the game. SNS, as we call it, is all about that versatility, giving you so many options to face the monster in a hunt. It is also a popular support weapon, since it can use items faster than anyone, allowing you to heal your teammates on a pinch. In-game, Rathalos at first glance looks like a very simple fire-breathing flying wyvern, but sometimes simplicity is all you need for a solid design. He will definitely give you one of your first Monster Hunter core memories, as he has the habit of stunning you with a roar and following that up with a fireball to the face. The cool thing about the collab though is that Dragon Knight has different recolors that remind me of the different subspecies of Rathalos. Meet the Azure Rathalos, a much more aggressive and agile version that is able to perform full combo strings in the air, making him quite dangerous to hunt. Depending on the version of Monster Hunter that you're playing, you can see it depicted as this dark blue or teal color. Now, this might be a bit of a reach, but I really think that the prismatic version of Dragon Knight's set is a hint at the deviant subspecies, Dread King Rathalos. Deviants in Monster Hunter are a variation of the monster that has been pushed to the extreme by having to survive some of the harshest and most adverse conditions in the Monster Hunter universe, some even being created by surviving fights against hunters. Deviants are some of the most dangerous types of monsters, and they reflect that by having special attacks that go way beyond the basic version. They are aggressive, ruthless, and unforgiving. When you see one of these, it's on sight. So yeah, Dragon Knight and the Rathalos are a match made in heaven. But I do think that this is a bit of a missed opportunity to have the dragon transformations be able to have the forms of the different subspecies depending on the dragon type you choose. You know, Rathalos, Azure Rathalos, and Silver Rathalos, and then if you buy the Scepter, it unlocks the Dread King Rathalos form for you. Can you imagine? Oh man, one can only dream. What do we have here? Okay, that's... oh my god, that's so... Whoa, wait a second! Is that a bull drone? That is so cool! Okay, so the animation from the axis is actually throwing the dual blades. Beastmaster is quite the tactical hero. He's tanky, he can push the lanes, he can lock down enemies with his ult, and he can summon his trusty companions to give him tons of utility. He's usually seen playing in the lane against the enemy carry. That way you can push that lane and bully the opponent with the flying axes and the boar companion. Let's address the coolest thing about this set right now. The boar companion is actually a Bullfango! So to give you some context, Bullfangos are a small fanged wyvern that are usually seen at the very start of Monster Hunter games. They are not particularly dangerous on their own, but they are known to be extremely aggressive and they attack in groups. It is such a universal experience to be hunting a much bigger and more dangerous monster by the skin of your teeth when suddenly in comes the Bullfango to tackle your ass and make you fail the quest. And many of them will die in the process too. They really do not give a shit. The Wild Boar summon is not much different in Dota. They have ranged attacks with a slowing effect, being a complete annoyance whenever fighting against Beastmaster. People who are good at controlling more than one unit at a time can sometimes really ruin your game by commanding the boar. So Bullfango and the Wild Boar truly share the knack for griefing. There is a small inconvenience, however, and it's that apparently you can only get the Bullfango if you buy the expedition pack. Let's hope I'm wrong. If anybody already crafted the Beastmaster set, let us know if it gives you the Bullfango skin for the Wild Boar in the comments below. The armor Beastmaster is wearing is one of the first armor sets that you can get in Monster Hunter games, as you can craft it by simply gathering bones from all around the different maps. It is a solid set to get you started on any Monster Hunter game, be it on low rank or high rank. As for the weapons, he's using the Odogaron Dual Blades, the same monster that Sniper takes his armor from. It is such a cool detail that Beastmaster can throw them around with the Wild Axes skill. All in all, a pretty good and fitting set, and of course, the highlight being the Bull Drum. The recolors are pretty in line with what you can expect in Monster Hunter 2. I'm wondering if the skill Power Shot from Windranger is basically the Dragon Piercer, or if it's gonna have the Dragon Piercer animation. If it does, that would be such a cool detail, man. Let's see here. Yes! Now this one was specifically made for me. One of my favorite heroes wearing the armor of my favorite monster? Fuck yeah! Windranger is an interesting hero. She's a hybrid between a carry and a mage, having the ability to do moderate magical damage, solid crowd control, and an ultimate that allows you to melt people where they stand. Her ultimate, Focus Fire, allows you to mark a target, and for the duration of the effect, you have increased attack speed against them, although at a reduced damage output. The trick about this skill is that it has incredible synergy with items that have an on-attack effect. That means that they have a chance to activate on each basic attack. So yeah, you can see how this can play out. In Monster Hunter, bow is one of the few ranged weapons, and it shares some similarities with light bowgun for its mobility and attack rate. That said, it is much better to think of the bow as a shotgun, as you fire quick volleys of arrows that are much more effective at mid-range. All the while, you move around the battlefield with ease. The key to this weapon lies in its stamina management, as each time you do a special evade with the bow, it drains little by little. The monster this armor is crafted from is Zinogre, a fanged wyvern that has a symbiotic relationship with a species of bugs called Fulgur bugs. These bugs naturally produce electricity, and as Zinogre charges up, he gathers more and more of these bugs until he reaches a powered up state. In general, Zinogre is an extremely acrobatic and combo heavy monster, so fighting him is really a sight to behold, especially when he's charged up and uses his thunder infused attacks. And of course, the best thing about this armor is the change in the animation of the skill, Power Shot. Like, it is almost 2 for 2 the same skill in both games. You basically charge this really strong arrow shot that deals a lot of burst damage. While Windrunner's Power Shot deals a single instance of damage, the Dragon Piercer can deal continuous damage ticks as it pierces through the monster. So it is very common to see bow users try to land this attack from head to tail. The cherry on top is that both attacks deal progressively less damage the more things it comes into contact with. Those are some crazy similarities. One last thing I'll say about this set is that Windrunner seems to have the Stygian Zinogre color palette. And yes, this is another subspecies in the game that uses the dragon element instead of thunder, which immediately makes him a lot more dangerous since the dragon element is a very volatile type of energy in the Monster Hunter universe. Not only that, but it seems that Stygian has a lot more control over the bugs that he gathers, as he can quite literally command them to create elemental discharges all around him. So about Poogie, he's the new effigy pet, meaning that in the game, he'll always be hanging out near some statues that the player can have near the base in Dota. If you do the high five emote to Poogie, he'll emote back with a heart, which is also something that you can find in Monster Hunter. Poogie also likes to hang out around the base in Astera and Celiana, the main hubs in Monster Hunter Iceborne. If you stop to pet him and you don't overdo it, he'll do the same emote that you see in the Dota version. They even made the different outfits for Poogie as well! So much attention to detail, man. So there's this thing in Monster Hunter, it's like a tradition that the community has, where if you really want to get good drops and good materials, especially when you're looking for that rare gem that hasn't dropped, you're supposed to pet Poogie every time you're about to go on a hunt to give you a luck boost. So, Dota players, you already know, if you want to win those matches, you better high-five Poogie. Don't you dare fucking forget about it. My last piece of praise to this crossover has to be about the Atlas. For the people who play Dota, these icons are not just a funny new art style. This is the Monster Hunter art style for the Monster Quest icons. And it's pretty cool to see the Dota heroes in this fashion. The Atlas itself is trying to replicate the Hunter's Notes, a small book that hunters carry around and that they can complete with information about the monsters by tracking, fighting and hunting them. It is pretty much the same system in Dota. Whenever you see a hero in a match, whenever you get a kill on them, or when you use a hero, you will fill up these icons little by little. You can even get the full entry if you win a match with a given hero, and that will give you access to a new piece of lore for that hero and some rewards for the event. That is all the information, the references, the similarities and serendipitous coincidences that I could find in this event. And I really hope that if you have played one of these games but not the other, after watching this video you can appreciate how much love was put behind this collab. That's it for today. Always grateful if you could like and share this video. And again, if you play one of these games and not the other, but you want to know more about the other game, feel free to ask me any questions in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.